Meeting to order. If we'd please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Watch for some renewed flooding in spots too. And then this one was severe. Here's the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
sun sets the severe. Don't have any guard for a.
First and foremost, we just want to thank you for being the mighty God and the awesome God that you are. And second of all, Lord, we ask you, Lord, to grant us tonight the wisdom to use the knowledge that we have presented to us to make decisions that's going to impact our community.
It's right.
Tonight
44.
or in the future, or just to help us, Lord, to make the right decisions. And we pray, Lord, that you will continue to put your protective hand over our community, and we just thank you, Lord, for being the awesome God that you are. In your wonderful name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Keeps us in kind of a stuck pattern, but isolated storms right now. It's not widespread. And that means some have sunshine.
Moving on to the adoption of the agenda for this evening. Everyone's had an opportunity to look at the agenda. Any questions or concerns? Not, I need a motion to adopt.
I'll make the motion, Mr. Mayor, that we approve the agenda.
Bill makes a motion.
I'll second it.
Mark seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, I might mention that Mag's on Zoom tonight, so can you hear us, Mag?
Flooding putting people in Franklin County.
I can hear you.
They haven't been in before. The flash flooding in Sullivan shut down.
I can't hardly hear her, so. Okay, moving on to the approved minutes of the regular council meeting, May 26, 2026.
Water filling the front and backyard for several homes in Sullivan Monday morning.
Any questions or concerns? Can I get a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion that we approve the minutes. for
Bill
May
makes a
20.
motion.
I'll second it.
Mark seconds. All in, all in favor?
Remember, tried to
Opposed?
was like up to
Moving
here.
on to invoice pay request presented for payments. Anyone have any questions or concerns about the bills to pay?
That's quite surprising for me, actually.
Mr. Mayor, I'll apologize in advance for not having had ample time to really study the council packet since I was traveling and just back into town. However, I will make the motion that we pay the bills.
Bill makes a motion, we pay the bills.
I'll second it, Mr. Mayor.
Dave seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to citizens' comments. We have Richard Hasig with us this evening. Richard? Excuse me if I messed up your last name. Hashagen? All right.
Mr. Mayor and Council, I want to tell you, I really appreciate you folks. I spent 12 years as mayor in St. Louis County, and I appreciate what you folks do. And
God love you.
I'm going to be quick. I'm here on behalf of my wife, Sherry. Sherry's been a guest at the cemetery for the last 4 years. I have one comment. I really wish they'd take the mowers and turn them around the other way and blow the grass off of the tombstones. They're $18,000, and they look a mess all the time. But you guys do a great job. I have a letter for the city clerk. I'd like her to introduce this and read this, please.
Bring it up here. Oh, thank you, Lyle.
Thank you. I think you're going to enjoy this. Even though I'm not a city resident, we do appreciate it.
Linda, you want to open it? And
I've been part of the city now since 72, 73. And I am currently, if you don't know me, I'm the director and founder of Camp Grimshire for the disabled children that we serve. We served over 196,000 people since we started.
Need to read this? Yes.
Yep. Is it okay if we read your
Read
your
the
letter?
Yes, please do.
Yes.
Dear Mayor Kowicki, this is Rich of Veterans Memorial Planning Committee. Thank you for meeting with me and our conversation last month regarding the new planned Veterans Memorial for our historic St. James Cemetery. I appreciate your caring diligence, and hard effort being extended in behalf of our true heroes. In our conversation, it was noted, regretfully, the letter I wrote last year at the time the cemetery board was dissolved never made it to your office. In my letter was a pledge of $1,000 donated in memory of my precious wife, Sherry C. Hashhagen. As a new 16-year-old military wife, Sherry served alongside me in our cherished USAF, her as a civilian, supporting the historic 94th FIS Air Defense Command at Selfridge Air Force Base, Michigan. After our discharge in 1963, she continued her love for our military, serving in many capacities. For example, legislation to preserve the World War II Missouri Service Medal, over 18 years of volunteer service with the Missouri Veterans Home at St. James, life member, trustee of VFW Post 5608 Auxiliary, 1996 Camp Brimshire, and programs dedicated to all World War II veterans, established her very special wildlife refuge living memorial for all U.S. servicewomen and men who served and continue serving today. Sherry was a dedicated U.S. military support advocate. She was recognized with full honorable military interment in February of 22 and rests with God and her vets in our St. James Cemetery. In keeping my pledge in behalf of my Sherry and all of the servicemen and women resting in our St. James Memorial Cemetery, please accept this donation of $1,000 to help create this new Veterans Monument with U.S. flag to remember and preserve the memories they all gave for our country and our freedom. Richard Hashhagen. There's a check for $1,000.
And thank her for what she's doing. She's
Yep.
doing a great job.
Yep, she do a great job, and we do appreciate
Very much appreciated.
the
Thank you.
donation and what you do for the kids and that in your program you've got going on too. So,
Bless you all.
Yep, thank you.
moving on to unfinished business, ordinance 2613. Linda?
An ordinance repealing and replacing Chapter 705, Article 1, Sections 705.010 to 705-050, Utility Services of the City of St. James Municipal Code, second reading only.
Well, it won't be only,
Second reading.
would be final passage.
Second reading with final passage, or not.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mayor, Council. Before you is the second read. We brought to you the first read. This is the PowerPoint that I've put together for this. You've had in the municipal code that we currently have, it's like 2 pages. The reason that we are, hopefully I'm going in the right direction. So what we're going to do in 705 is we're putting in here for 5 policies. These are policies for application, billing, and payment for services, policy for deposits, refunds, and collection, a policy for customer service fees and charges, a policy for rental property and for property administration, and then a policy for billing adjustments. And a lot of these, a lot of this policy we're actually doing, but we just don't have written policy in our municipal code, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. The reasons for these policy, like I said, many of these are in practice but are not in the policy. For example, payment plans. We do have payment plans, but we don't have policy for payment plans. Billing adjustments for water leaks. We do billing adjustments for water leaks. They have to bring their invoices in and show us that they, fix the leaks, and then we adjust their bills accordingly. But we don't have the policy in our code. So these are things that we're just correcting that we're doing right now. These policies are needed, such as collections. We don't have anything for collections in there, for refunds, for rental property. And we are repealing the dusk to dawn. We have not had dusk to dawn put in. That was taken out. We stopped providing dusk to dawn lights back in 2017. So I'm totally repealing the dusk to dawn lights, okay? We still bill for those that have dusk to dawn, and that's in the code that would be for the billing. But as far as the policy for dusk to dawn, we're repealing that whole policy of that you can have one, okay? Because that is in the policy right now. So that's being repealed. And let's see. Oh, I'm going backwards again, sorry. Okay, so the first policy is the application, billing, and payment for services. And, sorry, I'm gonna go through my PowerPoint. So these are, so anybody that comes in to get new services has to sign up and have an application with us. The application will tell them what the terms of the services are. They have to have ownership, so they have to provide us with a deed or a lease. If they're renting, they have to provide us with a lease. The application will also help us finding out if they have any past due bills. We have a lot of people that, you know, they could maybe had lived in St. James, you know, years ago, and then they're moving back to St. James, and maybe they have a past due bill. And if they do, we will make them pay that past bill, and they will not get services until they do so. The application tells them that, you know, we will be doing inspections, that they're being metered. They have to be over the age of 18 to have activation of services. They are liable for damages if there's any damages to the meter or anything like that. They must tell us if they're going to be disconnecting their services. The application also tells them that we will be billing on a 30-day standard billing month. So all these things are on the application. They have to initial that they have read the application. In their packet for new setup, we have a brochure that has all that information as well, but on the application, they're actually initialing that they have looked at all this and they have read it. We have nothing in our policy about the proration of bills. So we have a lot of people that maybe they're new to St. James and they come in, and maybe they've only been here for, like, let's say, I'll just pick a number, 4 days. And so our standard, service availability fee, that's just a flat fee. And so when they get their bill, they're like, wow, why am I paying, you know, a service availability fee for the whole month? It's not being prorated. So we don't have that policy yet. We should be prorating it. If they're only here for 4 days, we should prorate that. And so that policy is going in there now. So we're going to be prorating the bill for how many days when you're new, okay? Reading the meters. You'd be amazed how many people will drive over a meter because they think that if we can't read their meter, then we won't bill them for their usage. So we have to have access to the meter. So we, you know, that's part of the application. We tell them in the application when the bills are due and when payment is due, you know, and it talks to them about past due and delinquent account processes. And so a lot of times that, you know, we need to make sure that they understand all of the information about past due, delinquent accounts, and things like that. So all of that is in the new packet that we're putting together, and it's also on the application, and it will be signed. I will tell you, and I'm not trying to put Councilor Miller on the spot, but he had a really great question to me during our one-on-one, and he said, well, what about some of the people that, you know, are older, that have been here in St. James for many, many years, and maybe we can't find their application, and he's absolutely correct. So we are currently going through files to make sure that everybody has an application on file, and if they don't, we are sending one to them by email and asking them to fill out the application and letting them know that we're updating all of our files. So far, we've had no issues, and we're actually getting all of our applications up to date. So I just wanted, that was a great question, and I thank you for that, and I wanted to pass it on to the rest of y'all. So that was a great question. So the next policy is for deposits, refunds, and collections. I don't really have a whole lot on this one except deposits. And so one of the things on the new service, we're verifying, you know, again, we're verifying that if there's any unpaid bills, but we're also splitting out the deposits. I'm not changing the deposit. For right now, for residential, the deposit is $300. Right now, the deposit is $300, period, okay? Unless you're industrial. Industrial, it goes to the utility board, but I'm changing the small commercial and the large commercial because these are larger meters, okay? And they're larger accounts, okay? And the utility board looked at these and they agreed that these deposits needed to be larger. I also want you to know, I didn't start out with this, I want you to know that the utility board has looked at all of these. They've actually been looking at this whole policy over 3 months. So they've gone through this policy very thoroughly. And there was a lot of changes here and there, and so we've made a lot of tweaks to this policy, but they have looked this over. The whole issue with this deposits was that the reason that it needs to be broken down is because the $300 deposit, and I'll just talk about residential, was going into one of the funds and one fund only, and that was electricity. So all of the money for the deposits was going into the electricity and overstating electricity's assets, okay, which was cash. And that's not the way it's supposed to happen. It needs to be broken down. And that is one of the issues that came up with our audit, okay? So I had to break this down, and I did sit down with gas, I sat down with water and wastewater, and solid waste, and I sat down with electric and looked at, you know, looking at how much a meter cost, because that's typically what you do with deposits is look at, you know, the cost of the meter, the cost of the service, and that's, I tried to keep the 300 for the residential, but then I broke down the small commercial to 350, and then the large commercial at the 4,026, and then the industrial at utility board. Now, this is only for, you know, anybody that is already a large commercial, they're grandfathered in. We're not going to make anybody go back and pay the large commercial. This is only moving forward. And the large commercial, these are people that get the 3-phase meters. So we only have 80 3-phase meters. So, isn't that about right, John? Yeah, give or take. Yeah. So these are the bigger meters, and these are the demand meters. And that's really why I put that big number on those meters. They're expensive. So this is what the board has agreed to. And so if you know, I'm not quite sure how much knowledge I have in this, but this, you know, it wasn't that me just making up numbers, okay? I just wanted y'all to know. We also have customers applying for utility service found that we have quite a few that have unpaid balances for utility services from prior periods, and they will be required to pay deposits based on those services for unpaid accounts. So we have, so sometimes we may ask them to, you know, we need for them to pay. Well, we may have to use their deposit. You know, when we finalize their bill, we will use their deposit to finalize their bill. If they're still living at that house and they need to reactivate their services, they will have to pay another deposit to reactivate their services, okay? Then if we have any bankruptcy, we have to follow bankruptcy code, you know, the law. And then if there's any meter tampering or theft, And that is also in the policy as well. And we will, if anybody tampers with any of our, we don't have any policy about anybody tampering with our meters or anybody damaging any of our meters. Right when I first came here to St. James, I think the first thing that happened was somebody had tampered with an electric meter. I think they'd used a knife and they had damaged the meter quite badly. And they should have paid for that meter. But we had no policy where I could say, you need to pay for this electric meter. They're not cheap. They're expensive. But we are going to put that in there. Yes, sir.
It's a felony.
I know. I know. It is.
That's the policy.
I know. It's the policy's in there, but we didn't really file on the felony. Yeah. So. And that's the felony is in the policy now. For this one, yeah. As far as the refunds, so you'd be amazed. So anybody that overpays, that is a liability for us, and it's on our books. And I hate to tell you how many people will come in and they will have a credit with us, and they rack up a credit. We have people that have a credit over $1,000. And we can't keep doing that. We're like their bank account. And then, so we need to tell people, we're not your bank. You need to pay your bill, your utility bill, but you need to pay just your bill. Keep your money in your bank or wherever you have it, but we're gonna start refunding. If it's over $500, we're gonna start refunding their money back. We're not going to let them run because that goes onto our balance sheet and it shows up as, it's a liability for us because we need to somehow get that money back to them, okay? We have no policy on write-off of uncollectible accounts. So y'all, as far as I know, I don't know if this city has ever written off uncollected debt. I tried to find through the code, through all the ordinances and resolutions, and I never found anything where they've ever taken a resolution or an ordinance where the council has approved writing off uncollected accounts. And that's just a good business thing to do because then it goes off of your financials. It doesn't mean that it goes away. It just goes off your financials and cleans up your financials. It really does. The other thing that you haven't done, and it's not up there, it doesn't really have to be in policy. It's just something that we need to do, and that's escheatment. I don't think the city has ever done an escheatment. And so I've been talking to Linda and to Andrea about doing an escheatment to the state because we have not a whole lot, but we have several checks that we need to write a check. I think it's due. And the escheatments are done, I think, in October. Yeah, so we need to do the process and the paperwork and do an escheatment to the state. We do not have policy on collections. Right now, y'all's aging report is over 200,000. It's probably, I think, up to about $220,000 now. And we need to hire a collection agency and turn that over to them and have them help us go after these people to collect this money. And then, of course, the payment plans. The next policy is for customer service fees and charges. And these are, a lot of these didn't change. I think I added a few. I put in some definitions that were not in there to just sort of help the public know what some of these new service application is. So a new service application is $20. That's what we're charging right now. Delinquent account deactivation and reactivation. So we charge $50, but this moves it up to $52. So it's $26 to deactivate and $26 to reactivate. If you want it done on the same day, then it's $52 for premium activation service. So it would be done on the very next day, not the same day that it happens. Gas pilot relight service, we do not charge for that as long as we did the work. For instance, if we were doing a meter change out and we had to turn the gas off, we need to relight the pilot light in your furnace, we do not charge for that. But if you call us and you're like, your pilot light went out in your furnace, we're not going to come and do that. That's a liability on the city, and we will not do that. You need to call a plumber or call somebody to come and light your furnace. Late payment penalty fee is already 10%. I didn't change a lot of these. Bank return item fee or stop payment fee is 25. The residential commercial solid waste container replacement fee, that was adopted by council when we adopted the solid waste fees, and that's $62 per container. This is new, the solid waste notice warning. This is when you have a lot of trash and your lid is like really open, largely. And so, and other things. The first warning, there's no charge. We put a note on it. It's like not glued, but it's, you know, it's a nice note that sticks to the container that you can peel off, and it says, hey, here's what your warning is. There's no fee today, but, you know, please take care of this. The second warning, you will be charged $10, and then the third warning is $15. If you get to, especially if it's for overfilling your container, after the third warning, the solid waste supervisor, you will get a visit from them, and they will bring you a second container. And then we will put that second container on your bill. You will have to have that container on your bill, I think, for 3 months. And then if for some reason you don't feel that it's necessary for you to have that second container, then after 3 months you can take it, you can call customer service and have it removed, and they'll come and get the container. The special customer service requests, these are determined if somebody calls us and they want it's a special service. It would just be something that we would examine. I don't have anything really in mind. We did have somebody the other day in natural gas that needed some special materials for his meter or something. We happened to have it. It was an older meter, and we sold him something that needed to go on his meter. So it's just little things like that, you know. And we sold it to him at cost. So it's just determined at what the request is. So the next policy is for rental property administration. We do not have any policy for rental property administration at all, but pretty much the policy that we brought together, it's not lengthy at all, but pretty much what it states is that if you are if you're a property owner or a management company, you need to let the city know if your renter is moving out. The utility board did ask me to put a time in there. I did put a timeline. I put 2 weeks in there. So they need to let us know within 2 weeks that somebody is moving out. So that way we can terminate, you know, their application, you know, let them know that they have left, okay? So that way we can finalize that bill. The property owner or the property management does have 2 choices. They can either have the property turned over into their name when somebody leaves, or they can have the services disconnected. Okay, it's up to whoever owns the property or the property management. It's up to them. However, we do have a lot of management companies that do not let us know, and the bills will run up, and they run up in the name of the past renter, and unfortunately, and it's not their fault, it really isn't. So we're trying to, you know, we're going to have a lot more communication with the landlord. We're going to change the landlord contract that we have and make all of the new landlord and the management companies sign this contract so that way they understand what we're doing, because what we're going to tell them is that if there is a bill that's owned on this land, we're not going to turn on services until the bill is paid. So, because we have most of the, if you look at our aging report, this $200 and something thousand, most of it is rental property. And so we have a lot of tenants that move out, and the rental property people do not let us know. And so it just keeps running in their name. And then, you know, I can give you probably 3 or 4 examples right now where the rental property people have come in and they're painting and they're doing, you know, housekeeping stuff and cleaning, and they've never notified the utilities that the property, you know, that the renter moved out. And, you know, then we try to get hold of the renter, and they didn't pay their final bill, and their deposit was not enough to pay the final bill. And we're left holding the goods, the bag, so to say. So, so we're just, you know, trying to catch that. So we are working on the contract and trying to really, you know, come down on the more of this landlord utility service contract. So that way the landlord or the management, the property management firm will know that, you know, they have to help us to get these, you know, to get the final payment. Now, if the landlord and the property manager works with us and these people just leave and they don't pay their bill, you know, it's not really the property manager or the landlord's fault. And we're going to work with them on things like that. So we're trying, you know, it's like communication is a wonderful tool. And that's what we're going to try to work with them on, is communication. And right now we're really finding that that's what we're lacking, is communication between them. So, and then utility liens, I'm a little frustrated. I think Nathan knows that, because the only, I'm used to putting utility liens on a lot of property that owes us money, but as Nathan has told me, I can only put utility liens for water and for wastewater, and not for, right, electric and natural gas. So it's a little frustrating. So water and wastewater is not typically your larger bill in the utility bill. So, but I did put policy in there that I can put liens on property. So at least it gives me the option to do it. Oh, I'm going backwards again. Darn. Okay, the next one is for billing adjustments, and this is the one that I was talking about earlier, was that we do have quite, you know, sometimes there's meter service errors where, you know, we've either undercharged or overcharged for meter services due to, you know, readings or billing errors, high consumption issues because maybe somebody has a, you know, running toilet, or, oh, my favorite, water softeners. Ooh, you know, yeah. So, you know, we do take that into consideration. We only allow an adjustment one a year, one every 12 months. But we do allow that. The adjustment will be 50% of the difference between the consumption on the billed on the month of the measured consumption caused by the water leak or a gas leak, or the non-reoccurring consumption level. So that's what we're doing right now. And so typically we haven't had any issues with that. Everybody seems to be very thankful for just getting a, you know, an adjustment on the consumption. So unmetered or unbilled service area where a customer has not been billed or undercharged or overcharged. Sometimes that happens, especially when we have a demand meter, and so we can only go back 6 months. That we don't have any policy for that, and so in this policy, it would allow us to go back for 6 months when meter data is available, if we have it. And then I've talked a little bit about the theft of service, and I did, Nathan, I put that in there. The meter tampering And I did for existing metering equipment, $500 will be assessed per meter for tampering, damage, theft of equipment, or any kind of service bypass. So, and then I listed all kinds of, tampered damages or whatever. And so with that, went the wrong way. No, I didn't. I just didn't go the last one, sorry. Okay, so with that, if you have any questions.
I have two things. One, a suggestion. On the issue that Ryan brought up on old customers, you mentioned that you're just going to email them a request. Can we also mail them something by mail? Because I know, like, my mother-in-law, she doesn't have email, so she would never get the request.
Right, we're contacting them. If
Okay.
they don't have an email, then we are mailing. But if they have an application, we're just doing the ones that we can't find an application in their file.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just concerned if they didn't get an email, that
Right.
you also do a mail.
Right.
Also had my second thing was a question. You was talking about refunds. Do we have any policy for people that have solar cells that do they generate a refund coming to them? Or what's our policy on that?
We do not have anything in our policy for solar.
Okay, do we have any that are generating?
That's not necessarily true.
Oh, we don't? We do? In this policy, we don't have anything for solar.
Yeah, so basically, that's referred to as net metering. They're reimbursed for whatever they put back on the system, and what's referred to as an avoided fuel cost, the avoided fuel cost rate. So basically, it's the same amount that we are billed per kilowatt hour, minus all of the transmission and wheeling fees and all that. So, what's current business have at kilowatt
Right now,
right now?
the one I looked at today was like .08.
Yeah, so basically what they're reimbursed is, it's roughly about a cent
Yeah.
per kilowatt that they put back on the system.
Okay. So they do get a refund back on it, or they get a credit
It's
back?
credit on their,
Okay.
On their bill, yeah.
So do they have a limit on their credit also of the over $500? Have we had anybody go over that limit?
That's a credit as in their,
what they paid on their.
what they
utility.
paid on their utility bill, not a credit that they receive from solar or anything
Well,
else.
I keep getting these phone calls that put solar cells in, and they said, oh, you can make money all summer long, and you may have a small bill in the wintertime. So I was just kind of wondering, I have a neighbor that has solar cells, and I'm just kind of curious how we handle solar cell refunds or, yeah,
Let's have a conversation whenever you've got a few minutes. Next time you're at City Hall,
okay,
we'll run through it that way and then.
gotcha.
Yeah, it was not part of this policy. I'll put it that way.
Well, I didn't know if we needed a policy or needed to have something in the policy, or if that was under control. So I guess it's under
That's-
control.
So that gets into the more technical side of it, and the purchasing and the reimbursement for the solar. That's governed by state law.
Okay.
This is more internal office procedures, utility billing, and that.
So we don't have to have anything here then?
Not for this.
Awesome. That's what I was wondering. Thank you.
Anything else?
Anyone have any other questions? If not, could I have a motion to move forward with this ordinance or to not? I mean, that's basically it. It either passes or it doesn't with the second read.
I'll make a motion.
Mark makes a motion.
I'll second.
Marcy seconds. Roll call. Tyler's not here. Dave?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Meg?
Aye.
Marcy?
Aye.
All right, thank you all. Moving on to ordinance 261317, amend the city code, chapter 145, regarding the Industrial Development Authority. Linda?
An ordinance amending the City Code, Chapter 145, regarding the Industrial Development Authority, second reading and passage.
Linda, or I'm sorry, Leanne?
Mayor, council, this is the second read. The IDA board president is here tonight, Mr. Sammy Oxer. If you have any questions for him as well, I saw him thank you so much for coming, sir. But the board has met on multiple times. They have discussed the dissolvement of the IDA. They're all in favor of it. Actually, if you want to say a few words, Sammy, I'd be thankful for it very much, sir.
Yeah. We've come to the agreement that the IDA is really not. It's kind of they're old. IDAs are, industrial developments are. Cities can do more with economic development than what IDAs can do. You know, they were created in the late 60s, early 70s to bring in industry, and it's just a lot easier for cities to bring in industry into their towns. So I think the only thing that the IDA asked is if they could have $50,000, or if $50,000 can be allotted for a new sign out there, a good-looking sign. I don't know if Leanne shared the rendering that we did, just something like that. That was what was priced up. So I think that's the only ask that we had. Yeah. So, any questions?
Yeah, that just kind of replaced the existing sign that's already out there with the different businesses.
2 times the size of the sign that's there right now. Right now, it's a 4x8 sign or something like that.
We'll have to share it because of the price.
Very old.
Yeah.
So.
And again, it's nothing, the idea is all volunteers, as so many of our our boards are. They do a great job. They're all got businesses or have other things going on. So this is an opportunity for us to be able to step in. They meet quarterly. I thought, they meet quarterly, or if necessary, it gives us an opportunity to move forward faster with some opportunities.
Yeah, if somebody comes to the city and wants a piece of land or something, they'd have to get a hold of me, or and then we'd have to have a meeting. But Leanne can handle anything that comes your way. So.
Yep.
So Sammy, can you tell them who's on the board so that way we can acknowledge their
Let's see. Pull out an email. So let's see. You got Donald Keeney's on there, John Rapp, Angie Napper, Jenna Davis, Hugh. What's Hugh's last name?
Hugh Davidson,
Hugh Davidson. Yeah, and
Donald Keeney.
I already said Donald. I'm missing somebody. I know I am. But yeah, we had a quorum. One person wasn't there at the meeting that we voted on. We did an email vote on it. And John Rapp. Sorry. Yep, John Rapp is on there. So.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for Sammy? If not,
Thanks, Sammy.
No problem.
thank you for.
Thank you very
You see, you see the
I
boards.
think I've
Thank
got
them.
most things cleaned up with Leanne. She knows everything that needs to be cleaned up. But the 2 billboards that are out there, we got those plotted off to where you guys can get jury off the deeds of all the rest of the land out there. So should be good to go.
All right. Thank you, Sammy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, if no one has any additional questions, and entertain a motion to not.
I'll make a motion.
Ryan makes a motion.
Second.
Dave and Bill both second. A roll call. Dave.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Bill.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Meg.
Aye.
Marcy.
Aye.
Steve is not here this evening. All right. At this time, I'd like to ask the council to allow me to approve Tammy Snodgrass to the library board for 3 years. Dave, I know you're familiar with the library and the boards and stuff like that, I believe. But we've been, information shared with us is Tammy's already involved with it, and she's be a good candidate to fill the spot.
I've known her for 20 years.
Yep.
Yeah, fantastic person.
All right. If no one has a problem with that, I would like to appoint her to a year term. All right. I see no opposition, so we'll
Motion.
can I have a motion to approve? Me?
I'll make a motion.
Dave makes a motion.
Second.
Marcy, your turn. We'll give you this one. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Moving on to Resolution 26442. Linda?
A resolution to approve a fleet card application with Wright Express WEX Incorporated.
To abstain from this.
All right.
As Mayor and Council, before you is a resolution for its WEX. So right now, just a little bit of history. Right now, and this, just to also give you a little bit of background, sorry, my brain's flipping. I did take this to the utility board. I just want you to know. And they did approve this because the utility will be using this as well. But right now, we have a couple of fuel cards that we can go to just certain fuel locations. The one great thing about WEX, and I've used WEX before where I lived in New Mexico, and also when I worked at the university as well, it's very versatile. You can use WEX anywhere except here in Missouri, except there's 3 locations. I apologize, I can't think of the third one, but it's one is Buc-ee's. You can't use it at Buc-ee's, and you can't use it, and you can't use it at Costco. Not sure why. You can use it at Sam's Club, and you can use it at Walmart, but I forgot what the third one was, but it was an odd place, and we don't have it here. So we're not limited. So we can use WEX anywhere. So that means that when we start using the WEX cards, the drivers will all get the WEX card is for each individual unit, okay? So I'm going to use police because I really, police vehicles are easy, okay? So each police car will have its own WEX card. It's tied to the vehicle, okay, tied to the unit, okay? Every single police officer, every police person will get their own ID, okay? So when they go up to wherever they want to fuel, okay, they will scan their card, the WEX card, and then WEX will say, oh, okay, hi, give us your user ID number. They punch in their user ID number, and then it will say, give us your odometer reading. So they will have to put in what the odometer reading is of the car. So all of this information will be stored in the WEX system. So this is a really great tool. It helps the supervisor and the department directors with budgeting. It also helps, sorry, the auditor part, because we've been doing our auditing, is going to come out in me as well. It also helps us with fraud, waste, and abuse, okay? So every month, Linda and Andy will get the statements from WEX. They won't have to keep up with receipts anymore. The guys will reconcile their accounts. They will, and also too, on the odometer readings, if they put in an odometer reading that is like too low or too high, WEX is gonna, bells are gonna go off, and WEX is gonna say, whoa, wait a minute, something's wrong here, and we're not going to let you fuel. Or if you put in your wrong user number, then it's not gonna let you fuel as well. So, it's always going to have that form of, always watching the fraud, the waste, and the abuse. Not saying that anybody is doing that, okay? But it's just a precaution of having that in. The one great thing about the selling about this also is that WEX is going to give us, for the first year, a discount on our fuel per gallon. And the first year is 15 cents per gallon. And the way that fuel is right now, that's a sell. They sold me. And then after the first year, it's going to be 6 cents per gallon. Also, too, with WEX, the more gallons that you use, the more percent or the more cents they're going to give you on a discount. Not saying that I want everybody to use more, but that it will be that way. So we can also use the WEX card, like sometimes one of the gas stations that we have, or fueling stations that we have around here, that we also use them for like things like towing, for battery installation, tire changes. WEX will also allow us to use the card for charges for like that as well, which I thought was really nice, but it will not be part of the fuel analytics, okay? But they will allow us to use it for that. So I did double check that. They're going to forego the initial fee. I think it's like $40. So anyway, so I think this is a really, I told the auditor that we were moving in this, moving towards WEX. This is something that they, you know, it's one of the things that they said that we needed to work on for fraud, waste, and abuse. We're going to collect all the credit cards that we have, that other people have. They will all receive a WEX card in their whatever unit that they're using right now. So I think this is a win-win situation. And so there is really nothing for the mayor to sign. It's just an application for Andy and for Linda and I to fill out. So, but it was something that Nathan made me bring to you. So, no. I'm teasing him.
Because it's over the purchasing limit.
Right, it is. I'm sorry. But so anyway, it's just a really great program. I've used WEX before, and their analytics are just terrific. They really are. So, any questions?
I have one. I'm looking at paperwork here. What's the difference between a fleet card and a universal card?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm sorry. We're just going to use the fleet cards. We're not going to use the universal cards. Might be if you can want to use it out of state, probably, or something. Now, you will be able to use. You can probably use it as a credit card, but I'm not going to let them do that. Now, I will tell you. I'll have to look into that. I'm just using it as a fuel card. Okay, but I will tell you that you can use the WEX card, like if, for instance, if you travel and you go to, if you're traveling and you're using a city vehicle to go travel, you can use the WEX card while traveling. Right now, you can't. You have to use a purchase card to put your gasoline charges on.
So going to cost us $10 a card. I'm looking at the summary of key terms. It says fees per program, fleet cards $2 per card, or wait a minute, monthly accounting fee $10 a card.
They're not going to charge us for any of those charges. They're foregoing those charges. The setup fee, they're not charging us for that. The monthly accounting fee, we're going to be waived. So we are getting the fleet universal card. They're waiving the accounting fee, but will the replacement card, if somebody has to have a replacement card, it will be $2 per card. Nobody's going to use this card internationally.
Anyone have any other?
Are we still going to be charged $1.25 per card? We don't have. Do we have any diesel pumps? We don't have any diesel pumps, do we?
Yeah.
We have diesel equipment.
Diesel.
So
Okay.
this is like using it at Spurgeon's or somewhere like
Right.
that where you get diesel or regular gas or oil. It's not for any other purchases outside of that.
Right.
I noticed it says $1.25 per card swipe at a diesel pump.
Right. We're getting charged that right now.
Okay.
Yeah. We're not being, we're actually probably getting charged more. So, I mean, it's no different. I mean, the credit cards that we have right now are no different than what this is. I mean, a credit card is a credit card. So.
With this one, you have to have mileage, you have to have vehicle numbers,
Right.
you have to have an ID number, so it's specific to the vehicle and the individual using it.
Right,
I think on there, on each card, you select fuel only,
correct.
and they will, and you, that's the only thing you can charge. is-
Correct. We can actually in the fuel system, we can actually put on certain users, we can actually put on there that this user only has the ability to fuel once a day or once a week. I mean, we can put a lot of limitations on it, a lot. I mean, it's up to actually the supervisor, department director to even make those judgment calls. We used to have it where I came from, that police officers could only fill up twice a day. And if you had to fill up more than that, well, okay, why? What were you, yeah.
Yeah, I just found a note in here. It says a fleet card can only be filled up at Phillips 66 Conoco and 76 locations, but a fleet universal card accepted at 95% of United States gas
Yes,
stations.
yeah.
So we would do
So
that.
we're going to be getting the universal card, right,
Awesome.
right.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions for Leanne? Could I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Marcy makes a motion. Bill seconds. Ryan is going to abstain. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? All right. Moving on to Resolution 26443. Linda?
A resolution to approve a municipal financial advisor proposal from Columbia Capital Management LLC of Merriam, Kansas, for the city of St. James, Missouri, for a term of 3 years.
Leanne?
Okay, so this is a resolution for a municipal financial advisor. Every city should have a municipal financial advisor. This is I interviewed three different companies, and I really like this company. They were recommended to me by a group, RBC, which is Royal Bank of Canada. They're out of Meridian, Kansas. They also have an office in St. Louis as well. Though the persons that I talked to, Mr. White, he actually is out of Kansas, but we currently do not have a contract with the municipal advisor. And so because of the delay from the 24 and 20 financial audits with the city, we have not been able to file our municipal securities rulemaking board electronic municipal marketing access system. I'm going to call it EMMA, okay? EMMA is what you file for your general obligation bonds. You have to file those every year, and you typically file those. Your financial advisor will typically file those for you using your financial audit. And since we have not had an audit, we have not been able to file these. And so what happened was, as you know, the city lost their Moody's rating, okay? Needs this financial advisor to assist us in filing our EMMA, and then that way we will start meeting our city bond requirements through the EMMA, and then they will also be assisting me and Linda and Andy in getting us back our Moody's rating. We'll probably do Moody's and S&P. I'm going to do both of them together. And so we're going to meet with them, but we can't do any of this until after our 25, So we just did, y'all just heard the 24. And by the way, you're going to hear 24 again. Some more issues have come up, and so, but good issues. It made the audit look a little bit better, okay? But now the main auditor, he's going to actually physically come down here and do another presentation for the council. We have a new draft for audit. I've looked it over. And I went over some things with the mayor this week. And so a lot of the things I'm taking care of, okay? And so he's going to be down here probably at the July council meeting. And so he'll be giving a presentation. And so at that meeting, but they're going to start on the 25. But remember, the 25 is the 5 months because y'all changed your fiscal year, and then a whole 12 months. So it's really 17 months together. So they're going to be starting on 17 months, but we can't really do anything with Emma, and we can't really go after our Moody's rating until that audit is completed. But in the meantime, I want to contract with this financial advisor so that way, now that we have 24 out of the way, they can do the Emma for 24, get that out of the way, and I don't have to worry about it. And then once 25 is done, which they have told me, knock on wood, should only take 3 to 4 months, 3 months, I've told them, 3 months. Then after 3 months, we can do the second Emma and then hopefully get Moody's back, and we'll be on the right road, the yellow brick road, right? And so hopefully this advisor will help us. The really great thing that I like about this municipal advisor is that they do a lot of other things besides just that. They do advisory and management as well. They do investing, which is one thing that I would like for them to work with them on, is investing some of our money that we have. And so they do not charge you until you have actually started working with them, okay? So everything is always based on, what you want them to do. But they had a really great portfolio. Nathan has reviewed everything, and he thought they were a good firm. I've talked to a couple of other people that do work with them. The reason they're called Columbia is because their very first city was Columbia, Missouri. And so they named their company after Columbia. So anyway, any questions?
All right, if no one has any questions, could I get a motion to move forward with this?
I'll make the motion.
Ryan makes a motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Bill seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, moving on to the next 4 ordinances. I will say up front, they've all been through P&Z and all been approved by P&Z. We'll do the first and second reading on both because it involves some opportunities here for some growth and movement in St. James. So, Lyle, we'll start with ordinance 61318. Linda?
An ordinance approving the final plat of West James Boulevard Addition, being a lot consolidation plat of lots 4 and 5 in block 56 of Paces Addition, St. James, Phelps County, Missouri.
Lyle?
So this is a simple lot consolidation for Noah Wills. This is actually on James Boulevard, on West James Boulevard. This lot is due east of the Daniels Garage property. Basically, it's taking 2 lots, consolidating them into one legal lot for future development. It's currently zoned as commercial, but currently used for residential. And honestly, at this point, Noah Wills does not know what he's going to do long-term with that lot. However, before he can do any redevelopment of it, he does need to heal that or consolidate those 2 lots.
Any questions for Lyle? Got to get a motion on the first read?
I'll make the motion, Mr. Mayor.
Bill makes a motion.
I'll second.
Mark seconds. Roll call. Dave?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Bill? Brian?
Aye.
Meg?
Aye.
Marcy?
Aye.
Linda, second read, please.
An ordinance approving the final plat of West James Boulevard Addition, being a lot consolidation plat of lots 4 and 5 in block 56 of Paces Addition, St. James, Phelps County, Missouri.
Any discussion? I get a motion.
Motion.
Meg makes a motion. Bill seconds. Dave?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Meg?
Aye.
Marcy?
Aye.
Moving on to ordinance 261319.
An ordinance approving the final plat of East Charles Street, second edition, being a minor subdivision plat of all lots 1, 2, and the west half of Lot 3 of Block 4 of Cartels, second edition, St. James, Phelps County, Missouri.
Lyle?
So this is another lot consolidation. This one is for Justin Hughes and his wife. This lot is actually at the corner of East Charles Street and South Jefferson. It's basically hemmed in by, there's also an alley on the north side of this property. Basically, it's a lot consolidation. His intent is to eventually put a duplex on this lot. But prior to any redevelopment of the lot, it has to be consolidated.
Right.
I have just one quick question.
Yes, sir.
Why only half of the other lot? What's going to happen?
Because that's all he owns.
Huh?
Because that's all he owns.
Okay.
At some point in time,
He bought half a lot? Okay.
or he was given a half a lot, or somebody sold a half a lot to somebody. In the original town of St. James, and in some of the older subdivisions, which this is, the lots were 40 feet wide and 140 feet deep. And over the years, people would buy 2 lots, or they'd buy 2.5 lots and put a house on it.
Okay.
So basically, this is part of cleaning all that stuff up from years gone by. And in some cases, you'll find them where, and the east or west 10 feet of another lot. I mean, it's like that throughout town, so.
Okay, awesome.
All right, any other questions for Lyle? Did I get a motion on the first
I'll make a
read?
motion.
Mark makes a motion.
I'll second.
Ryan seconds. Dave?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Meg?
Aye.
Marcy?
Aye.
Second read.
An ordinance approving the final plat of East Charles Street, second edition, being a minor subdivision plat of all of lots 1, 2, and the west half of Lot 3 of Block 4 of Cartels, second edition, St. James, Phelps County, Missouri.
Discussion. I get a motion on the second read.
I'll make a motion.
Dave makes a motion.
I'll second.
Marcy seconds. Dave?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Meg?
Aye.
Marcy? Moving on to ordinance 261320. Linda?
Ordinance approving the final plat of Davis Powell, being a minor subdivision plat of lots 14, 15, 16, and 17 of Block 5 of Powell Addition, St. James, Phelps County, Missouri.
Lyle?
Okay, so this is another lot consolidation. This one is owned by Mike Davis. So this is on West Eldon Street. Basically, for lack of, well, the easiest way to explain it, it's across the street from the property that the street department building actually sits on. So right now, it's just a vacant lot. It's the only thing vacant right there. As it was platted, if we go back to the original town of St. James, the lots were 40 feet wide and 140 feet deep. There was a total of 4 lots there. Mr. Davis had purchased these properties. He's going to consolidate them into 2 lots. Each of the new lots will be 80 feet wide. The plat 142 feet deep. His intent is to do duplexes on those or single-family houses, however it works out.
All right. Any questions for Lyle?
Is there room on that to do duplexes on those small lots?
I'm sorry?
Is there room enough to do that on that small lot duplex? Okay.
All right. Got to get a motion on the first read.
I'll make a motion.
Meg makes a motion.
I'll second.
Ryan seconds. Dave?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Meg?
Aye.
Marcy?
Aye.
Second read, please.
An ordinance approving the final plat of Davis Powell, be a minor subdivision plat of lots 14, 15, 16, and 17 of Block 5 of Powell Addition, St. James, Phelps County, Missouri.
Discussion? A motion for second read? Marcy makes a motion.
Second.
Bill seconds. Dave?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Meg?
Aye.
Marcy?
Aye.
Moving on to ordinance 1321, first read. Linda?
An ordinance approving the final plat of Davis Stimson, being a minor subdivision plat of lots 37, 38, and 39 Stimson subdivision, St. James, Phelps County, Missouri.
Lyle?
So this is another minor subdivision, basically basically re-subdividing 3 lots into 2. This property is also owned by Mike Davis. This is currently, or this property is located at the intersection of West Washington and Elm Street. There is there's actually 2 structures that sit on this property. One is a single-family house, and then there's a garage, shed, another type structure. Basically, again, we go back to the way things were platted years and years back. So there were three lots that were 50 feet wide that basically faced Washington Street. Basically, he's changing the orientation of the lots to face Elm Street. However, since that is a corner lot, he is required to have a 30-foot setback on each one of those, or on the corner lot off of Elm and off of Washington. So he can actually accommodate that. So basically, again, it's a simple lot consolidation. So it's actually a simple.
Any questions for? Not going to get a motion on the first read.
I'll make a motion.
Dave makes a motion.
I'll second.
Ryan seconds. Dave?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Meg? Marcy?
Aye.
Linda, second read.
An ordinance approving the final plat of Davis Stimson, being a minor subdivision plat of lots 37, 38, and 39 Stimson subdivision, St. James, Phelps County, Missouri.
Discussion on the second read. Not going to get a motion.
Motion.
Ryan makes a motion. Dave?
I think Mag seconded.
Yep. I
Meg
second.
seconds. All right.
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Meg?
Aye.
Marcy?
Aye.
Well, since you're up, it was
And I'll make it short.
Public Works.
I promised you I'll make it short. So, the only note I have is that I have talked to MoDOT area engineer Preston Kramer. I've also talked to James Beatty, who is the one that was working on the plans for the B Highway intersection upgrades, the alternatives. I can't get an answer out of either one of them, what they've decided on. One thing they have told me is sometime at the end of June or the beginning of July, they will let us know what alternative has been selected. However, talking to Preston earlier today, he said he was amazed at the amount of public interaction with the not only the in-person public meeting, but also the online questionnaires, and they did receive quite a bit of feedback. So they were very thankful for that. It helps them in the planning. So, other than that, the water is killing us. I mean, all the rain we've had. Last year when Amazon came in and did their pre-construction meeting, I warned them that it was going to be spring is always wet here, and this has been way beyond anything I've ever really dealt with, at least in the 10 years I've been here at St. James. So some of our projects are behind, but we're steadily, as soon as it dries up, we'll be ready to go.
All right, thank you,
Floating all
Lyle.
the spiky balls away,
I'm sorry?
floating all the spiky balls away.
All the spiky balls float down to the nearest stormwater inlet or culvert.
For easy
and plugs
collection.
them up.
Easy collection.
How's that been with all the rain? How's that been with all the rain? Have you guys had any major?
It's the same. I mean, sweet gum balls will float to the nearest storm inlet. And then they settle out, the water dumps, they settle out, they completely seal it off, and then we've got ponding of water. It is what it is.
Part of living in St. James.
Yes, ma'am.
Fortunately.
All right, thank you, Lyle. Leanne?
I just wanted to let the council know that we've received our sales tax, use tax, and our stormwater. Our use tax was up by 30%. I've been a little worried because the month before it was down by 4%, and I was trying to figure out why. People were not maybe buying online, but it's up by 30% this month. We got a really nice check, didn't we, Linda? Mm-hmm. And then our sales tax is up by 28%. Compared to last year at this time, we received, our sales tax went up $22,000. And then our stormwater and our transportation tax went up 28% as well, because related. And so our stormwater went up compared to last year. Our stormwater went up $10,900. So just wanted to give you good news that we're doing very well. Our marijuana tax did go down. It didn't go up, but it wasn't a whole lot. I want to say it was just a couple of $100. Yeah. So.
453.
Yeah.
$453.
$453. So yeah.
Not that I would know that number off the top of my head.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
I don't have any idea.
Anyway, wanted everybody to know that because of this month, we do have a holiday where the city offices will be closed on June the 19th. And so the library is having their summer reading program. It starts on June the 22nd. Does that sound
I believe that's right.
Council? Yeah.
Oh, they're registering now?
Yeah, they're registering. So if you know of any kids that don't have it, we have a little bit of good news on the pool, but if you have some kids that don't have anything to do, then maybe the summer reading program is a good program for them to go to. We do have a couple of people out on vacation, so if you try to call some of the people in the office, we have quite a few people out during June. Not me. So if you try to find somebody, you can't find them, call me, and we'll try to help you with anything. So anyway, so that's about it.
All right. I don't have a whole lot tonight. Christie, you want to give a quick pool update on our pumps and where we're at with that?
Friday, I did finally hear back from McNew Electric, and they sent us a quote, which was lower than they had anticipated. Remember, I said they expected 45 to 60,000. It came in at 38,275. Asked them if they could kind of give me some sort of time frame, because that's what I've been worried about, a time frame, 6 weeks. Hopefully, we can have Tiger Shark back up and running by mid-July. The mayor and I did talk. Last year, I closed right when the kids went back to school because so many of our lifeguards are involved in extracurricular things at school, and it was becoming harder and harder to field the staff to open safely. I will poll the lifeguards to see how many I have, and if we have enough to open safely, we'll look at staying open on weekends after school starts back through Labor Day. But that's only if I have enough staff. So we were very excited about that. I will reflect on Mr. Hashhagen's letter in case you all aren't aware of what small project I started that has now bloomed. My passion was to build a veterans memorial at St. James Cemetery. and include the veterans that were buried there, as well as the old cemetery back behind the elementary school. I started getting calls from others and from my friends at the cemetery, why not just include St. James natives, no matter where they're buried? So I started looking around, the Veterans Home, Oak Grove Cemetery, all the ones that had St. James addresses, and put that together. I've started to get feedback. Tim Wilson helped with Immaculate Conceptions list. I had another individual that does the Broadway Church Cemetery, sent me their list. So we're starting to get them in from all over. So this memorial will be to honor those from St. James, all of St. James, who have given their lives to protect our freedom. So right now, I think the list is over 1,300. So I'm going to redesign the monument so we can include all those names, and hopefully with fundraisers, donations, we can get it built and taken care of. I think it'll be something our community be very proud of.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, I don't have a whole lot, just a couple of things. As you can tell this evening with the 4 ordinance with lot consolidations, we're starting to see some houses